I would like you all to give a thumbs up if you have logged into your Basecamp after the new launch. All right. So I see a couple of them. Okay. So around 50% of us have logged into the Basecamp, while 50% of us haven't yet logged in. So today what we'll do is we'll divide this session into three parts. The very first part would be the very first experience which a member gets as to when they log on to their portal of Toastmasters and how to navigate to the Basecamp while select the path. Second segment will be all around the features which are there, which as a member we can utilize to maximize our learning journey, as well as ensure that whatever progress we have made is there for us to track and refer later. The third segment will be close towards the Vice President Education. I should not just say Vice President Education. Now it has changed to all the officers who will be having access to the Basecamp manager so that they can empower their club members in a better way and track their progress. After that, we'll take certain questions and answers since most of you, while registering, have added certain questions. We'll take that first and then we'll dive into the questions on the chat. So I'd request anytime you feel that something needs to be covered, you can put it in the chat to everyone so that the question can be answered. So let's quickly dive in. I'll be sharing my screen and we'll be taking you all to the Basecamp. So the very first thing which any member does is we'll be logging in. Now, for all the members, some of us might be new members who have not yet logged in. You must have received a welcome email which redirects you to this page. In case if you haven't received a welcome email, you can always come to this page and go for the first time logging in, creating a password. You can use your registered email ID which you have submitted while enrolling yourself for Toastmasters. Once you do that, you will be getting a link. Do wait for a couple of minutes because if you multiple times try to send the link, there will be multiple codes sent. Once you get those codes, you can reset your password and log in the portal. We quickly log in into the portal. So at the onset, as soon as you log in, everything remains same. This is the same view which you will get in your mobile, tablets, as well as desktop. There is no change in this view. Only for the new members, what will happen is when you see this page, you will be getting a box called as choose your path. Whereas anyone who is experienced might directly get these options, which is go to your Basecamp, Learning Hub, Achievement, both. The very first thing which I want all the members to go and update is try to update your profile. Now, this particular profile earlier used to not make much sense because it was not accessible to any of the members except for the Basecamp managers. But now it has a lot of usage for anyone among the clubs. So what you can do is you can update your picture, you can add your interests, your introduction can be added. And the very specific thing which I want to highlight is your LinkedIn as well as Instagram handles. That can be updated over here because any new achievement which you make in the current Basecamp can be shared directly to all these social media platforms. And you can also use it effectively to let your members of the club know where are you present socially so that they can interact and engage with you. So this is the three areas which I would suggest all of us to go ahead and update, which is introduction, the interest, and the social media handles. There are certain things related to the privacy and consents. As soon as you log in for the first time, it will pop up. Ideally, it is up to you whether you wish to select yes or no. Being in Toastmasters, I've realized that's a personal choice. If you do yes, most of your achievements, which is publicly available and accessible to your district officers or the club officers, over there, your name will be directly shown. Otherwise, most of the privacy concerns, it's that you are willing to share your profile details with all the club members. Once this is done, it will take about 1 to 2 days for that to reflect in your Basecamp. So once you have updated, do not feel that it is not showing up. It will take some time. For me, it took almost 2 days to reflect it in the Basecamp. Let's immediately dive to the Basecamp. Now, as soon as you click on the Basecamp, what happens is earlier it used to direct to a different page or a different window. Now it read directly opens in your same window. This view remains constant on your phone, tablets, as well as desktop. I'll let you know what has changed for the mobile users. The very first thing over here you will get to see is your paths and learnings. You'll have your achievements. These are all your learning badges, the feedback badges, all the different paths which you have done. If you have completed the levels, you'll be able to see those badges over here. Similarly, you can see which badges you have earned and what are the badges available to earn. For example, right now, since in my case, being 8 years part of Toastmasters, most of the things have been already earned. So there is nothing left over here. For most of the new members, you will find a lot of things which are grayed out, which means you can attempt to explore them in your journey. Now, these badges which you see, very interesting feature which they have added is now share the badge. How many of us have added certifications in LinkedIn? Can I see a raise of hands? You might have done some certification and you get a link which you add to your LinkedIn profiles. Yes, I see a lot of hands raised. Similarly, now these badges can be shared in similar fashion. Not like the certifications, but you can share. So what you need to do is you just need to click LinkedIn and Facebook. It doesn't provide Instagram, but it gives you LinkedIn and Facebook wherein you can directly share. Maybe you can write an article, let other members across the community know why have you received that badge and share your perspective. Also, it gives you a URL. Now, this URL can be used at that certification link and you can add it on your profile over LinkedIn that this is a badge you have received. Similarly, you can do it for your path completion, level completion badges. It can be shared. So this way they have made the achievements more interactive for our members. All these URLs, once you get access, right, it is directly accessible. You do not need to log in into your portal or someone do not needs to log in. So it can be accessed by anyone. And this is, it also provides you the date when you have earned the badges. Now let's dive into the paths and learnings. All right. So I'll pick up the dynamic leadership path. When you open the course, now this view is what differs in mobile, tablet, as well as your website or your laptops and desktop. So here you can directly get resume from a page you must have left while reading. You can add your own bookmarks. You get all the levels as a direct overview. It also shares which all projects you have done. So green tick means that you have completed those projects. If it is not green means you need to yet to complete that project. So like this, it will give you all the different. Now, if you see electives, I have completed these two. There is one elective which I had opened, but I haven't marked it as complete. So you can also check which all electives you have opened to explore. Similarly, these are different ways. So in level 5, I had opened multiple different electives, and that is how you were able to figure it out. Yes, I see a hand raised. Mukta, you can type in the chat your query. I'm not able to see the screen.
Okay,
If you are,
Akshay, there is a question in the chat. Should I read it for you? It's from Aditya.
yes, I got that
I,
question. I'll cover it.
yeah, okay.
Thanks, Anjani. So this is how you can get an overview. It gives you directly an overview as to which all projects you have started, which all projects you have completed. Now I'll just dive into one of the projects to see how the interface has changed. Now there would be a question which is posted in the chat, how it is different than legacy paths as well as the new paths. So the new paths, there are six paths which have been retained and they have been revamped as per the new portal as the new look. These are called as the new paths. There is nothing specific name given. Whereas all the other paths which were there earlier before the transition on 20th October, all those paths are still part of the system called as legacy paths. Any member who has selected their path before the transition will be able to access the resources of their path as it is. The resources do not change. There is no new modification or addition to those resources. It will be as it is. You can access it in the same fashion as you have done. If you want to know how the resources look, I'll share a couple of links which you can check. The Toastmasters has a playlist on which they show how you can navigate through those parts and the projects. The current look is this way. We'll quickly browse through. So it is made more intuitive and it has been made more friendly. So you directly get the resources at the end. You can download them as a PDF file. You have your various segments, and this becomes much more useful when you are viewing it in a phone. I'll just show you how the phone view looks like. So if you see in the phone, it automatically adjusts, and this is the seamless experience which you get. So while accessing the six paths which have been retained and continued in the new Basecamp, you will get this kind of experience when you are trying to navigate through them. You can bookmark these pages, and as you saw in the overview, I had shown you there are a couple of bookmarks which you can get. So any important page, maybe for example, in Icebreaker, you have the page of structure of the speech. You can bookmark that so that you can refer that in later. They've added these segments wherein you can assess and reflect. You can add certain items to it, what you know, what you wonder. You can basically store these content and this gets saved. Just to remember one thing is that entire Basecamp provides you of 1 GB storage. So whatever you plan to upload, you can upload your recordings, you can upload your speech transcripts, you can upload your feedback transcripts. Everything which you upload gets stored onto the Basecamp so that you can access, but the storage limit is 1 GB. After that, if anything you upload new, the older items, the oldest items shall get deleted. So we'll just quickly dive into the evaluation and feedback page. So in the page, they have added these icons wherein you can figure it out exactly what they intend to do. These are plugins which are added. You can click on them to learn more. Now, since I'm from PR background, I'll just share the icons which they have used. All those are compliant icons. If you are planning to use them anywhere in your flyers or if you're trying to communicate with your club members, you can go ahead and use them. I'll quickly go to the evaluation part. So Icebreaker is the first project which all the members will have to start. So that's why covering this, you can deep dive into other projects and figure out what all has. So as you see, the resources are directly summarized at the bottom. So once you complete the course material, you will directly get the resources which you can access. I can see members have asked, how do you know how many electives are to be done in a level? Yes, that's an interesting question. We'll cover that part. Yes. So once you are completing your project, right, over here, the very interesting feature which they've added is your speech details. So this, when you add over here, what it happens, it gets logged into your portal. It gets logged into your profile. Your club officer can directly see which all projects you have done, what was the speech title. Your members can see those logs as well as you can see those logs. You can select the speech title, select the speech date. Now the club part over here, it is only possible to select your home clubs. They haven't added the feature wherein you can select any external club or any external member who has your evaluator. So what you need to do is you have to select your clubs. Since I'm part of two clubs, it gives me as a drop down which club I have delivered the speech at. You can select the evaluator. So for example, if I select all at Advanced Toastmasters, it will directly give me all the members who have enrolled in Pathway as the names over here. So remember that members have to be enrolled in Pathways for their name to appear over here. If they haven't enrolled, you won't be seeing their names in this particular drop-down list. You can select the evaluation resource. You can request the description. Now, some of you members might have this, like, I want to record a speech which I've given it in a different club. I had a different evaluator. What you can do is you can add those details in the request description so that it gets logged. You may not be able to select a different evaluator or different club, but you can add it over here so that you get logged. This is save the log, which means you have saved it in your portal, and you can also save and email it to yourself. So these are the features which is added. All right. So this is the most interesting aspect which they have added over here, which I believe all of us should refer. Because when I did my parts, I have my speeches written manually and I have kept a notebook. So you can always come over here and log it again. So all the members who have completed their parts, if you still have access to them, you can come over here and log the details so that you can track it in the future. Yes, Neha, you have any questions?
Yeah. So before you just go on to the next session, there's a question for this segment itself. If you can look at the chat.
Yes. This is to be done before delivering speech or after. Ideally, I would recommend to do it before when you are planning which club you are planning to give them, what would be the speech evaluator's name. Because when you select the speech evaluator, what happens is they get a notification that you are the evaluator for that speaker's speech and they can access their notification and get the digital feedback form which they can use to refer as well as even add their feedback. So that's a recommended approach. But yes, even after the speech, once you have delivered, you can always come back and log it in the portal so that you have it with you. Now, when we discuss about the level completion, all right, someone had asked the question, how many electives is what I need to figure out? All right. So in this particular Basecamp, what they've added is when you go over level 3, you will get a small statement below the level 3. It will mention that any 2 elective projects needs to be done. I'll just refer it over here. Pardon my internet speed, somehow it is lagging. Yes, so if you see over here, when you click the electives, you get a line, choose at least 2 projects required for this level, which means from all these projects, you can complete any 2, and that's how you can figure out which all you need to do. You can select them, and once you select, it will show you submit, which means basically you are submitting the level and the elective. So minimum 2 needs to be done. You can also go for more projects if you wish to do. If you are more enthusiastic about exploring all of them, you can try and go about selecting. But number of projects which you need to do is mentioned over here, and that's how you can figure out how many electives needs to be done. So this was the experience which you will get internally when you are exploring the paths. The resources options are directly mentioned. You can download them as PDF. Second thing is you can log your speeches. You can bookmark critical pages or somewhere you felt an important point. There are segments in the project wherein you can add your own experience. You can add certain points which you feel you wish to refer later. So all these things are applicable in the new view. Any member accessing any of the legacy paths, you may not get these features, but you'll still have the older view, which is there wherein all the resources are there. Just the intuitive part and the logging aspects are not present in the old or the legacy paths. Yes, Balbir, you can type in your question in the chat. I'll quickly go to the dashboard. All the different paths which you have, if you have multiple paths, or if you even have the pathways mentor program or the club coach program, it will show it over here once you have started those projects, so that you can navigate to any one of them and go ahead. It will all show it in active. For me, it is showing under completed, but for you, it will come under active. Achievements we have already discussed. Learning badges. So speech log. This particular log shall get populated when you are logging it in the projects. So all the logs which you added in the projects will reflect it over here. And this is something which can be accessed by your club members also. So they will also be able to see which all projects you have completed. Feedback. Now the feedback mechanism, what they have done, change in evaluators on speech day. Yes, you can come back and update the speech log. You can also delete the speech log.
Left.
A lot of time what happens is when we schedule a speech, maybe due to certain circumstances, the speech doesn't get delivered. What you can do, you can come back, delete the log, and you can add a fresh log. You can request for feedback. Now you can select a club. You can select the member. You can select multiple members. Earlier, this was one member at a time. Now they have made it multiple members. You can ask all the members who are present in the meeting, select it, and you can figure out the visibility, whether you want it to be known to all club members or just selected members. And you can request by specifying your project objective, which day you gave the speech, and then it can be made accessible. So all of these members will get a notification and they can go ahead and fill in your feedback. What I would recommend is in this new Basecamp, ensure that whenever you are planning to go to your meetings, you log into once, check out what all things are available. If any member has requested for feedback, take it actively, give them the feedback so that you are able to share your comments well when you were aware of the same. So before the meeting and after the meeting, I would encourage all of us to have a practice that we log into this thing. This was related to the member feedback when you're asking for feedback. Now let's see the evaluation feedback. Now this is an interesting page wherein you can see all the different evaluation digital forms. The PDF forms are also available. If you click on them, you can directly download the PDFs. I'll show what resources mean. But these are the digital forms which you can fill. For example, if the icebreaker evaluation form you want to fill for a member, you can just add the speech title, select the club, select the speaker. So for example, if I select the path, you can select the speaker. Speech date you can specify. You can do continue. I'll just show you for one of the I'll just take it for Ranjini. Speech date, I'll select, say, Sunday speech. When I do the continue, what it happens, it gives me a digital form. Now this digital form can be filled directly by me, and this will be directly sent to the members so that they have a record of it. This is same whether you ask members for feedback or you can use this mechanism to add the feedback. You can also print it. This is the digital feedback which you can edit. Yes, a change in electives, you can very well change your electives. It need not mean the two which you have selected needs to be done. You can browse through all the electives and go ahead. Ideally, two requirement is there for completion. Another interesting feature over here is this share option. Now, this share option is, for example, sometimes what happens, I'm a speaker. All right, I have my project objective. I'm not sure as to whether the other member is able to access the feedback form, whether they have reached that level or not. I may be delivering a speech of level 3, but the person who is evaluating may be of level 2. So they might not have come across that form yet. So what you can do, you can share the form with them. You can select the club, you can select the members and share the form with them with the speech details. So it will again come as a notification. There would be a question which many of you will have, that these notifications, do they come over email? No. All these notifications come over your Basecamp. You will have to log in, and on the bell icon, you will be able to see how many notifications you have. So this can be used to send the feedback evaluation form. How speaker can view feedback shared by the evaluator? Yes, we'll check that as well. So these are the different changes which they have added in the feedback pack, which is quite intuitive. You can directly share or you can request for feedback. Maybe after the meeting, if you know 7 members are present, you can directly request them a feedback. And let's inculcate a practice in our clubs that we ask members to go over the base camp and use this new features effectively so that all our thoughts, all our feedbacks are captured and it is available for the members to refer later so that they can enhance their speaking journey. Resources, you have various different filters and resources. You have different languages, which will be there. You have all the categories, project resources, descriptions, evaluation resources. So there are multiple filters which you can use. Shared with me, recently views. You can also favorite them with the heart icon so that it's there available. These are the various different filters which can be used. For example, if I select project resources, you have subcategories, which levels which I want. Only level 3 project resources as I want. So they have made it more flexible and easier to navigate as compared to the earlier resources segment. So you can directly get, you can download them, you can share it with the members. Either of these options can be utilized. Now my documents, if you see over here, the limit storage is 1 GB, but the interesting thing is they have added MP4. Earlier it was just doc, PDFs, JPG. Now they have added PPT, they have added MP4. So all these details can be uploaded over here. You can directly upload. The maximum file size is of 300 MB and maximum files which can be uploaded at once is 5. So you can upload all your transcripts, maybe video recording if you have, you can put it over here, audio recording, all that can be added over here for future reference. So this is what the view looks for a member. All right. So anyone who logs in, any member, when they log in, they will get all these 4 pages access. The other aspect which you get is you can check my clubs. Now, this is a very interesting feature. What it does is it lists all your members. So in a club, if I have the members, you will be able to see them. You can give feedback to the member. You can give them the badges. Different badges mean different. You can accordingly choose a badge to allocate to or reward your members. You can also view the profile. Now, when you view the profile, what you get to see is you get to see when the member was, you get their email ID, you get to see their achievements, the speech log, the feedback badges, learning badges, the feedbacks also you can get. If any feedback is made only visible to the member, then if you are not that member, you won't be able to see. All the feedback which are directly accessible to any club member, they will be able to see them. Your interest social media handles comes over here. The other interesting feature which they have added is this meeting roles. Now I'll just show you the meeting roles aspect. There was a question once asked that how I can track all my meeting roles. What you can do is earlier it used to only allow one meeting role at a time. Now what you can do is you can directly add as many meeting roles as you want to. I have not tested the limit, but I guess there would be some limit, but I have tried till at least 4 or 5 dates. It easily populates. So what you can do is you can select your role, you can select the date, and it will automatically get added. So you can add multiple dates, and this is directly visible to all the members. So your mentors, if they want to track what all roles you have done, they can directly come to your profile and get an idea which roles you have done. Your club officers can get this access. Your social media handles are there so that if they want to share anything, they can do it. Since LinkedIn is added, I would encourage members to go over LinkedIn and add testimonials for their mentees, for their club members. That way it would be more interactive. So this is how you can maximize the usage of the platform. So this is the feature which is present in my clubs. When do you get to see the club coach program? Yes, after you have completed certain number of paths, which is 2, you would be able to see the club coach program. You can also browse for that program and start it if you wish to start early. Pathways mentor program gets enabled after you have completed your second path's 2 levels. So this is what is available in my clubs. Can we add other roles? No. At present, you can only add meeting roles, and that too, it is limited to these 6 meeting roles, which is R counter, general evaluator, grammarian, speech evaluator, timer, toastmaster, topics master. The other roles are not present, and speaker will directly get the speech log. Now request, if you see, members have requested for their feedback. I had submitted for one of my club members, Mudit. Similarly, members have requested. Now, if I show you how it looks, for example, this is how the feedback form will look. Now, whatever I add over here, I can add it, I can accordingly fill. And once I do the submit share evaluation, the member will be able to see the evaluation. I would have taken the evaluation live, but since we are having limited time, we will quickly move to other aspects. Can we sync with FTH? Tata, can you highlight what exactly you mean by FTH?
Free toast to host, where we update
Yes.
the rules.
Yeah. So you
Uh,
can't sync that. Okay. So Free Toast Host and Easy Speak were two different platforms wherein you could do earlier tracking of roles. You can't integrate with them. Those are independent platforms of Toastmasters. So they haven't provided an integration. All the notifications you will be able to see here. So if you do view all, it will come as to who has shared what kind of feedback or requested any feedback or shared any badges with you. You will get all them, the notifications over here. All right. So do we have any questions? We can quickly take few questions before we dive into the Basecamp manager part.
Yeah, Akshay, there are a couple of it. I think maybe you've answered it. Just have a glance.
Yeah. The chat questions I've taken up. Anyone else has any other questions or queries?
uh, Akshay, this is Tata
Yes.
here. So the paths which will get depreciated, so how long will that be continued, or the members have to switch to a new path? Let's say
Yes.
if innovation planning got depreciated.
Yes.
Yeah.
As of now, they have not mentioned when the older parts or the parts which have moved to the legacy parts will be discontinued. So they have not intimated. Right now, they are still exploring how members adapt to the new platform, how much engagement happens. Because now, as you can see, there are notifications, there are ways wherein you can interact with the platform. So once the interaction metrics comes to Toastmasters, they'll be able to figure out how the adoption has been. So as of now, the older parts or when they will be depreciated, they have not informed us.
All right.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah. Akshay,
So,
Vikram here.
Yeah.
hi, this is Jamie here. So
I would
I just wanted
request
to understand.
Yeah, would request everyone to raise your hand so that we can unmute yourself so that there is no cross question. So Jenny, you can go ahead. We'll first take your question and then Vikram's.
Yeah. So, obviously, I'm from the old path. So, I just want to understand that all these features that you were speaking about, is it possible for us to navigate in the path that we have already opted for in the as per the old structure? So, or this
All
is
right.
available only in the new paths now?
All right. So for example, I'll just show you if you have an older path, right? What will happen is the platform features which are there, it is all accessible. You will get the notifications, you can add your roles, all these things will be available. I'll just show you how a path which is no longer part of the system would look like. So effective coaching is a legacy path. So if you see over here, what they have done is they have mentioned this as paths and projects. The older paths which were there, they have mentioned as legacy paths. I'll just open one of the legacy paths to see how, since most of the things I have completed over here, it is directly showing. But if you check the icebreaker legacy, right, see, it will show you the earlier navigation, how it used to be. The older navigation will come. It won't show you the intuitive or the refined navigation which is there. It will show you the older navigation. So you will still get all the aspects. But if I discuss about, say, the feedback part, right? Over here, there is just the feedback. It directly opens up the older portal and you will be able to navigate. You won't be able to log your speeches. You won't have the resources like how it is directly mentioned in the current new parts. So that difference is there, but otherwise the resource accessibility is intact. You will still be able to access your resources and continue your learning journey.
Akshay,
Okay. So the other question that I had was the pathways. Once the one pathway is over and we want to go to the next pathway, we want to choose that. So is it compulsory that we need to do the assessment, or we can just directly choose
You
and go?
can directly choose the path. I'll show the choose part towards later part of the session. Quickly, we'll select how you can choose a new path. We'll
Okay,
quickly
thanks.
dive to, yes, thanks. Yes, Vikram, you can ask a question.
Hi, Akshay. This legacy path cannot be accessed through mobile even now.
Yeah, it won't be accessible through the mobile. Yes.
Okay, so this is clear cut. Only through the laptop it will be accessible.
Yes. Laptop,
Okay.
desktops.
Now, 2 years back, during I was given a second path for free, and that happens to be a legacy path. So now, can I change it? Is it? Have you
No.
heard of that? No, right?
Yeah, I have heard that question. Someone had asked it over the official group of Toastmasters, and it was
Hmm.
answered that the path which has been given as free back then remains same. You will have to continue that path and complete it. You can always purchase a new path in the transition.
Okay, so now the legacy path people also cannot immediately switch to anything new. They have to complete this path.
You can always buy a new path. So you can have multiple paths simultaneously. It's just that
Yeah.
that path will remain as it is. You can always purchase a new path and explore that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure. So there are a lot of questions as to how the new path looks like, as to what are the different paths are, right? So I will share a couple of links wherein you will get the complete deep dive as to how each of these 6 paths are structured, what are the different levels, what are the different projects. You can refer them. For now, we are looking forward to questions about the Basecamp navigation or anything which you have a query which is related to the new system or the new transition, you can ask. I'll go ahead with Aditya.
Okay. I had the question like that. I am the new member to the Toastmasters. I have joined the Toastmasters 2 months back. So I haven't chosen any pathway till now. So can you explain me about the 6 pathways to choose which pathway is good?
Sure. So the selection of a path and the assessment part, there are questions around that. We'll cover that quickly towards the end. So I hope Aditya will get your answer during that time. If not, you can stay back. We'll discuss it in depth.
Okay, thank you.
Suhas?
My question is that I have completed level 3. I mean, I wanted to confirm it, but there is some question raised by the VP. Earlier, I chosen the deliver social speeches, but somehow I have not selected that, and then I delivered the other 2 electives plus persuasive speaking. So total 3 speeches I have completed. So shall I consider my level 3 pathways, level 3 is completed?
So in case, if you have noticed, in level 3, you're required to do electives. If you have 2 electives and you have completed the mandatory one, you can inform your VP head. They will get a list. I'll show how the VP heads will be getting to see the new system and how they can navigate while accepting a member's request or confirming the same. So we'll quickly deep dive into this after this question and answer segment is complete.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Libby?
Hi, Akshay. Akshay, I wanted to check in the new Basecamp, are the certificates of the legacy paths available? Because I couldn't find mine.
All right. So as you had earlier received the email, which stated that you need to back up your certificates, back up all the documents. All those documents which you have completed, those certificates are currently not present in this system. So they are not part of it. In case if you want a completion certificate of your path, you can always mail it to education@toastmasters.org. They will provide you a copy. But as of now, you can't access them once all the paths which you have completed. For them, there is no certificates present.
Okay, but for the new paths that are there, the certificates would be there.
Yes. For the new paths, you'll be able to access the certificates. The only aspect is that you won't be able to download like the PDFs which we earlier used to have. The TI mentioned that they are working on this feature and it will be available shortly. But for now, you can directly take a screenshot or try out certain other hacks to get this certificate.
So that should be visible in the achievements tab, right? The certificate and not in the.
So it will be visible in your path. Once you complete over there itself, you'll get the certificate. Like how you used to get earlier.
It will come
Same.
that way. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Mukta. You had a question. Mukta, you're on mute, I believe.
Okay. Um, so I have a question. If you finish all the projects in a certain level, then the last bit is to mark level complete. So when you click on level complete, does it automatically go to the VP education for approval?
Yes. So once you mark the level complete, the VP education will be notified. For this, it also sends an email as well as a notification will be sent to the VP education's dashboard. They'll be able to see. And then once they approve from there, it gets directly logged into the recognition portal. It will reflect on the dashboard the next day when the dashboard refreshes. So you need not separately file the award for the member. Once the VPH approves it, it gets filed.
Okay, because I completed one level last week and I pressed the level complete and it showed submitted, but my VP education hasn't received a request for approval. So I don't know
Sure.
what's, so should I press it? I mean, should I activate it again and press submit? Would that help?
So a lot of members had raised these such questions that they had accessed certain things and certain things was not available. So TI gave us 3 steps. They first asked us to clear the cache and retry the login and check if it is available. Second choice was mentioned that you can reattempt the same procedure and try to check and also ask your VP education to refresh their cache and check. Third is you can email education@toastmasters.org that this is something which we are facing. So they will try to provide a solution.
Okay, I'll try all of the above. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we give suggestion to TI that either XCOM officer or VP Ed is able to access the project content of respective member path? Currently and previously also only project name was visible. All right, so all the project content as you saw in the resources are directly available. So if you see the project name, you can directly search that resource in the resources and you will be able to get the project description as well as the evaluation resources. So that way a VP education or the club officer can figure out what is the project content. And if they want to discuss it in length with their members, they can do the same. So now quickly, I guess none of the hands are raised. So we'll quickly deep dive into the Basecamp manager as to how the club officers will be able to see. Now, it's not just the VP education and the club secretary. There can always be a pop question that who were the Basecamp managers in the whole system. Now we have all the officers having the access to the Basecamp. So we'll quickly check how the access looks like. So you need to immediately click. Earlier, it was like you had to log out and log in separately as a Basecamp manager. Now you did not do that. You can directly select Basecamp manager. Member overview. This is the project or this is the space wherein you get an overview of all your members. For example, what their current credential, what is their highest achievement, what are their completed paths, last speech. Now, once they log in into the system, the completed paths shall reflect. So since I've logged in, it directly reflects all the paths which are there. So this will give you an overview as to where your members are. It is quite helpful for a club officer to plan their goals, which may be the DCP goals, or if the mentors want to figure out how they can ensure that the balance of all the members are going progress forward. If they are aiming for international speech contest, then they need to complete level 2. All that can be quickly seen from this particular page. Now, paths in progress, this table will show you different paths which the members have. I'll show you how it looks. For example, in my club, most of the members are already progress, but as you can see, only I have logged in. So once you log in, you will be able to see this page. In case if we have any VP Ed in the room who has accessed this page, you can raise your hand. We'll ask you to share and maybe you can show how this particular page looks like. Recent activity will give you all the activity which has happened in the last 60 days, whether it is a member requesting for a completion of speech, whether member has requested for feedback, whether member has requested that you need to submit a project, or if member has requested you for any aspect, it will come. Also, if some of the officer has approved the request, then it will show it in the recent activity. So all the Basecamp managers, if they log in, they will be able to see which member has approved the project. Maybe it may happen that Club Sergeant at Arm has approved the project. Maybe it may happen President might have approved the project. So you will get to see the activity over here. All right, so this is how this looks like. I'll show you a page. Do we have any VPR in the house who has already accessed their portal? We can see a live view, or else I'll show it from the screenshots which are available. Anyone in the house who would like to volunteer? All right, no worries. So all these different, the member access as well as the Basecamp manager, there are guides available. We'll share the links in the chat so that you can access those guides. You will also find it accessible on the resources. You can directly search Basecamp manager guide, Basecamp member guide. You will be able to see the guide. That's the guide which I'll be sharing right now. So you'll get an idea as to how the different parts of the Basecamp manager view will look like. So as soon as you click on the Basecamp manager, right, this is the dashboard. So if you see approvals, it shows you this page. Review means it needs yet to be approved. Approved status is it is already approved. So this is how it will look like. All the members who are submitting their projects, submitting their levels, it will show it over here. Now, another aspect is what happens when you click on a member, you get to see their overview. For example, in level 2, how many projects have they completed? Have they completed all the 3 projects which are required? And if yes, then you will be able to approve the particular project. Or else if you see a grade tick mark, which means it has not yet been completed, you can inform the member to complete the same. You can add your comments as to why have you rejected or why have you approved the same. You will be getting this finalization, which means you have reviewed and it has been submitted. Now, the interesting thing which they have added is they have added the deny aspect. If you are denying a member's request, you can select the reason, which can be missing speech, incomplete assignment, additional details requested. Sometimes what happens, a member must have delivered a speech in another club and another evaluator must have evaluated, but they must have forgot to log the speech on the portal. So you can always request for additional details, and this way you will be able to notify them that this needs to be shared with them. So you can add the reason, you can add the comments. This is the new addition which they have done. So all the reasons and what comments you can add, they have specified it in the manual. Now, the member overview you are already seen last speech. This is a very useful tool for the Vice President Education to plan how to allocate the speech slot so that every member gets a chance. Yes, the paths in progress. Now, this is an interesting page. What it does is it gives you all the members in your club, which path they are, which level they have completed. The green tick symbolizes the level they have completed. 0 of 4 means they are yet to start any project in that level. If you see 1 of 4 means one project has been completed. Sometimes in level 3, you might even see 5 of 3, which means the members have already done 2 electives and they have opted for more electives. But they've still not yet submitted the level, because when they submit the level, you will be seeing a different icon which will indicate that they have submitted the level. So this is how the paths progress looks like, and this is directly accessible for all the members. There was a question raised that can we download this as a CSV? As of now, there is no such feature, but TIA did mention that they are trying to figure it out to make this report available for downloads. So if you see this condition 1 of 3, this is how it would look like. And the recent activities, it shows member and which path they did the activity in. So this is a very good overview for the club officers to figure out how many of their members are active on the portal, what are they doing, and you can accordingly even nudge the members to utilize the portal more often. The clubs part I had already covered. So one of the members have volunteered to show you how a live VPN screen looks like. All right, so there's a question not able to see all members progress in paths progress. All right, so the two criteria for the member to reflect over there is first, they should have opted for a path. Second, they should have accepted the privacy consents and logged into the new Basecamp. Once they do, then their details shall reflect. In case if you are still not able to see, you can always clear the cache. You can retry the steps, or else the third option, you can always mail it to education@toastmasters.org and they will see to that they provide you a solution. So Mudit, are you there? If you can just raise your hand, I'll give you the access to share the screen.
Yes.
Sure. I'll make you the co-host. Can you share the screen? All right. So Mudit will help us navigate a live system. He's a VP Education of Goregaon Speakers from the Toastmasters Club, and he'll be able to help us navigate the segment. Yes. Can you click on Basecamp Manager, Mudit? Let's start from there.
I've clicked there. This is the screen.
All right. Yes, sure. So as you can see, the approvals which are pending, right? Can you click on review just to show how it would look like when you are clicking on review button? So that it highlights the effective coaching. As you can see, it also highlights the levels which are completed, the speeches which are completed. And that's how you can figure out whether this has been done or not. You can cancel. Or you can show the paths in progress. In the search by keyword, you can search member's name. You can also try to search using the path name. Engaging humor if you type. All right. Can you search by name? All right. It seems this is also facing the issue of not able to see all the records. You can cross and see how many records come. Try to refresh the page. Yes. All right. Mudit is as of now only able to see this. In fact, it is something which even like I am, since Mudit is part of my club, I'm not able to view Mudit. I've already written it to Toastmasters International that one of the club members which I'm not able to see is Mudit. And Mudit is not able to see any of his club members. So we'll try to figure it out. But yes, this is where you will get all the members. As you saw in the documentation, you will be able to see all the members' progress as to what has happened. But yes, two prerequisites, they need to enroll for Path and they need to log in into the new Basecamp. Unless and until they don't log into the new Basecamp, the details shall not reflect over here. It is very crucial for the members to log into the Basecamp. Thanks, Mudit. You can stop. Can you show the recent activity? Like, are you able to see any? All right. So as you can see, the multiple members have logged into the Basecamp. They have enrolled in paths. They have submitted their levels. This is how you can get to see the Basecamp activity. Thanks, Mudit. So we need to ensure two prerequisites. All our members are enrolled in paths. All our members log into the new Basecamp at least once to see the new features, as well as ensure that their details are rightly populated. We'll quickly take a couple of questions, but before we dive into the questions, I want to show the selection of the path and how it remains. Quickly dive into that segment. So when you log into the portal, all right, Toastmasters home, let me just navigate. And yes, there are a couple of questions might have. This is running on a new learning management system, which the TI has introduced, and hence the differences which you can see. Also, you can access it via phone. The only thing is the entire navigation up to the path's content is same. But once you are able to navigate to the path content, you will be able to get the new experience. It's much more easy to read the materials as well as watch the videos. So we'll quickly go to the education programs, pathways, choose a path. Now, if you see the choose a path remains same, you select your language. You can either take the assessment, you can view all the path options. The very first path for every member remains free. But after that, every additional path is with $20 plus the GST charges, which would be applicable. So if you see, you would be only able to select these 6 paths because these are part of the current system. All the legacy paths, if you have chosen it before, you will be able to read the access the resources. But if you are choosing a new path, you will only be able to see these 6 paths. Because you can select a path, then you can do continue. It will redirect. If it is your free path, it will directly continue and you will get an email that you have opted for the free path at 0 cost. If not, it will redirect you to the cart wherein you need to pay for the path with the details and then proceed forward to make the payment. Tax is around $3.60. So that's how you will be able to purchase a new path. All right. So yes, if you want to opt for legacy path, now it is not possible. In the email which was sent to all the members, they had reminded that any member who wishes to opt for the legacy paths, they can enroll themselves. But the new paths will have a lot of new education content which would be rolling out. As of now, they have just rolled out the platform as well as the transition. They have promised something which is called as explorations, which will be soon coming out. A lot of members had asked those questions in the webinar which the Toastmasters International has conducted. And they did mention that, yes, those things are on the way. But as of now, they do not have a date as to when it will be available. Yes, Vikram, you can ask your question.
Akshay, the new member who logs in, by clicking that forget password and all that, from there, where does that website take us to choose a path? If it's possible, in any of the new members, can we take a screenshot and share it? A new member feels so overwhelmed with the website. They act as though they are computer illiterate. They ask simple things. They don't. The problem is I am not able to do it because I have already chosen a path and it's all done. If it's possible, that
Sure. So what happens for a new member? In fact, I'll just share a screenshot. Today itself, one of the clubs which I'm mentoring had sent me the screenshot. They were trying to access the details. I'll just get the screenshot onto my screen. And this is what somehow you will be able to see. Meanwhile, if anyone else has any other question, they can ask.
Hi, Akshay. Very good evening.
Yes. Good evening, Amish.
Yeah, I'm the new member who joined last month.
Sure.
During
Welcome to
assess-
Toastmasters.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for welcoming me. During self-assessment, I got into the innovative planning pathway.
Okay.
Now, when I log into the new Basecamp, I don't find this pathway.
All right. Did you receive an email stating that you have enrolled in the path?
Yes, I've received
All
a
right.
mail.
So same thing I advise the members who had reached out to me in the morning. Clear your cache, clear the browser history and try to log in. If that doesn't work, try to log it into incognito mode. If
Okay.
that doesn't work, you can mail education@toastmasters.org. They will help you resolve it.
Okay, that's great. But
I'll
still, I
put,
can continue with the same pathway, or do I need to enroll for something?
yeah. So once you've selected the path, you have chosen the path.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Akshay.
Yes. So for all the new members, this is how you will get to see. So when you log in, right, you will get choose free path. This is the first option which all the new members will be able to see. So if you see this member has just joined us in September 2024. He is part of the Salesforce Mumbai Toastmasters Club. So you will be able to reach this page first. You will first get a set of privacy consents options. Once you select them, you will be able to reach this page. And from here, once you select choose free path, it redirects to all the steps which I showed you, which is the assessment, language, and the selection of path. After that, if you are logging in and again, if you're seeing the same page, I would suggest clear the cache and then try to log in again. If that doesn't work, try incognito mode. If that doesn't work, mail to education@toastmasters.com. Only VP Ed would be able to see members, other members, mentors who have mentees won't be able to see their mentees progress. No, every member, if they can see. So when you go to my clubs option, you can see all your club members. You can check their view profile. We'll be able to see their speech logs. So that's and the roles which they have taken. Which level they are part of, that is something which is restricted to the Basecamp managers. Earlier, there was a concept of award to be filed by VP for level completion. Yes. Now it doesn't require. As soon as the VP Education submits, after they have reviewed and they submit, it is filed with Toastmasters International. It will reflect in a day on your portal as well as on your dashboard. What are the aspects, criteria to choose any path? It is your choice. The assessment is just to recommend. Ultimately, it is your own choice to decide which path. One of the very early things, one of the session I had attended when I first started my Toastmasters journey. And over there, I had learned that every path when you choose, try to add the elements of those paths in your learning journey. For example, if you have selected the path of dynamic leadership, try to see how dynamic leadership aspect, dynamicity can be added to your speeches and the projects which you do. If you have taken engaging humor, try to add humor across. So that is how you can select the different path and explore the journey. The electives almost remains the same. There are only few projects which differ from part to part. If you all stay, I'll show it towards the end as to how each different parts looks like. But yes, that's a question for later. Anyone has any other queries?
Hello.
Yes, Suhas.
I have one question. There are certain, the DTM like speeches are there. Once the one complete one pathways, then they can even take the other projects which are not in the pathways. So can you elaborate on this point?
All right. So there was some concept of external projects as well as external training, which was part of the older platform. In the current platform, you do not have such concepts. What you can do is you can still refer the objectives of a speech by the resources, and you can go ahead to explore that particular projects. The DTM projects gets enabled once you mail to Toastmasters education@toastmasters.org that you have completed 2 parts and you would like to pursue the DTM project. And that's when the project gets enabled. That process remains the same. The other projects which are there in the resources, you can always go ahead and explore. Ask the community what kind of projects they have done, and you can always try to find or even explore the resources. There are a lot of different projects. All these are part of your pathways 5 levels. So you can always explore them and try to do. In your path, yes, whatever you select and log will be there to track by your Basecamp manager or the club's Basecamp manager. And you can also use it to track. But the other projects earlier, it was a feature wherein you can add a custom project that as of now, we had asked those questions, but TI has not yet answered on that particular question.
Thank you.
Sure.
Shall I ask one more question?
Sure, Suhas, go ahead.
Just now, earlier, the VP Education was able to approve the level completion progress. And I think one more person was also given the right to approve the
Secretary.
Yeah,
the club secretary. Yes.
So in the current new scenario, who are the authority to approve the paths?
All the 7 club officers.
Okay, including Sergeant and Palms also.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else has any other queries? All right, if no queries, we'll definitely share the resources. I'll quickly show members the path since there are a lot of new members over here. We'll quickly see what are the different paths. So this was a pathways, an overview document which was there available in the earlier before the transition. It does mention all the relevant paths. This is how the competencies and the structure of the paths is created. We'll quickly go through it. So if you see, there are 5 different key aspects: public speaking, interpersonal communication, strategic leadership, management, confidence. And each of the paths have these elements specified to it in an order of how the path prioritizes them. So if you see, engaging humor has public speaking and confidence. Effective coaching has 1, 2, 4, 5. So this was how earlier the paths was structured. Now from this, around 6 of them have been retained in the new transition, which you can access. This document is available on the district90.org. You can go ahead and still refer them. You'll get to see what are the different projects. So the very first level is all about mastering fundamentals. It has about 5 different projects: icebreaker, writing a speech with purpose, vocal variety, body language. And another thing is, when you refer the projects, you will see that when you are doing it for the second time, there are certain projects which have an advanced level. For example, the vocal variety speech has an advanced version wherein you can just focus on the voice. Different elements of voice can be evaluated, like pitch, tone, all those aspects can come. So you can figure it out. That's why you need to explore the portal, figure out all the resources, and this will help you figure out what should be the evaluation resource which you should utilize. Learning your style, increasing knowledge, the electives are there, building your skills, then demonstrating expertise. In order to complete a path, you need to complete your last project, which is reflect on your path. This is a complete reflection of your path. So all these projects needs to be done. The levels can be self-paced. It is up to you to decide how you wish to progress. So this document will give you an overview. You can always access this document. We'll add all other documents also on the website so that it is easily accessible and you can directly check those resources and use them to share more with your club members. But the very must is log in onto the portal, explore the new Basecamp, select all the privacy related aspects, ensure that you update your profile so that your social media handles are directly present over there, and enroll into your path and start your projects. With this, I believe we are almost there, 70 minutes. Anyone has any other questions, they can always reach out to me. You can also mail education@toastmasters.org. There are a couple of webinars conducted by the Toastmasters International. Your club officers may have attended. The recordings are sent to them. The recordings, if we receive any recording, we'll share. One of the recording, I believe, today has been sent to the officers. We'll ensure that the recording is also put up on the website so that you can explore the portal through that recording, in case if you wish to reconduct a similar session for your club members. All right, so if you want to update the introduction, it is very well present on the home page of Toastmasters. So the very first thing which you need to do is log into your home page, go to your profile, and then it is not visible. It even took me a minute to figure out where exactly this is present. I did saw it in the video, but yes, if you scroll it down over here in edit, you will be able to find these details wherein your introduction, interest, and social media handles can be added. So update them such that your members are aware of your interests as well as your introduction. These introduction is something which can be utilized by all the club members when you are introducing your members in the meeting. It's a very useful tool, so you can utilize it. All right. If no other questions, I would request all of us to come on camera so that we can capture a picture.
And I would just like to take an opportunity. I see a lot of comments on the chat, and I'd like to thank the distinguished Toastmaster Akshay Singh for conducting this session for our members and helping them out with the new look of Basecamp and helping them out with pathways adoption. I hope this helps our members, the newly joined members, as well as the club officers to navigate Basecamp and pathways. And I see a lot of people on camera, so I now request the educator to the DPRM role shift to happen, and please click a picture on our behalf. Akshay.
Thank you. I'll just stop the recording.